Sitting out there at the moment, there will be a rapist, there will be a thief, there will be a murderer, there will be somebody who will end up in a psychiatric unit, there will be somebody who will have, you know, and it's a cross-section. There'll be somebody who'll be a successful manager, teacher, and you've got to look at schools like that because you're dealing with real people.
Come on, Chaz, you can do 3 things at once.
As well as having the new lad coming in from the other school.
Who's this?
A lad called Douglas Davis.
Right. And he's going into which year?
Year 10.
Oh, well, at least it's not year 9.
No, they're all coming into year 10 now.
Right. And what's his background?
Hasn't been in school since September.
When's he actually starting?
Starting today, on a 2-week trial.
Douglas Davis is 15. He's been excluded from a local grant-maintained school and is now about to become the responsibility of Francis Coombe, a comprehensive school in Watford.
Why did you choose here, Douglas?
No one else wanted me.
That's fair enough. Why do you think we've got you then?
I don't know, because you're still a state school. And you can't really say that you don't want me.
So we've got to have you?
Yeah.
Was it bad at your other school then?
Not really, it was all right.
It was all right?
I was never there.
Why weren't you there?
I was always bunking.
Why?
Because I don't like school.
And so you just stayed in bed all the time? Or
No, I wasn't in bed. Stayed in bed till about 12.
Mm.
And then I got up and then I just went out and come back at night times. And that was it.
But you said school was all right?
Yeah, it was all right when I was there.
Mm.
When I wasn't getting in trouble. Most of the time I was. But other than that, it was all right.
What sort of trouble did you get into?
Just people giving me detentions all the time.
Why?
For doing things wrong.
Were they wrong or was it you?
No, it was me.
It was you?
Yeah.
So you knew it was you?
Yeah, I used to swear at them and things like
You
that.
used to swear at them? Oh, right.
And
Why?
throw things at them.
Why?
Because they annoyed me.
Oh, why did they annoy you,
I
Douglas?
don't know.
Do you think you'd be able to do that here?
I don't know. No one's annoyed me yet.
Maybe we've got a different attitude. Maybe we won't annoy you too much, Douglas, right? But we don't accept silly behaviour and we certainly won't accept swearing, right?
He started getting into a bit of trouble and he was always around with his mother and that. And then suddenly, one Friday night, she phoned me up and said that he was missing, and he come knocking on the door about 11 o'clock at night saying, right, I'm coming to live with you. And that was the end of January and he's been here since.
How did you feel about that?
I had no choice. Not really. I couldn't really let him stay out in the street, could I? Not really.
No.
So I agreed with it, saying that he can stay here and all he does is he's told. And if he does his told, he'll be all right.
But presumably you're also worried about the influence he's going to have on the other children who are here.
Actually, he tells them, doesn't he, Jenny? He does tell them not to do what he does. He sort of sits down and talks to them and says, no, you mustn't do what I do, play truant from school and that, you must go to school. So he knows that it's wrong to keep playing truant and playing up at school.
Scott, where's your tie? Oh, you've got it. We're a school that is undersubscribed. Because we're undersubscribed, we have to take whatever goes. Hi, Douglas. We don't always take other schools' rejects, but we've taken quite a few. Yes. And I'm giving it you. We've actually had 27 kids come into the school since September '94, which is a form. And of those 27 children, you know, some will settle in fine, some will need a lot of work.
Why are you allowed to wear coats? You get cold.
Because it doesn't look smart, does it?
So?
And if everybody wears coats, they look as if they're not staying. It's a challenge because, I mean, that's one of my fetishes, if you like. I mean, I quite enjoy taking on kids who seem to be hard done by or seem to be hard or seem to be, you know, because underneath they're just like anybody else and maybe they've had a hard time.
Hi. Come in. Hello. Hello, Mama.
Mirsad and Mirsada Aslanovic are refugees from the Bosnian War. They've come to Britain with their mother Munira. During the war, the boy, Mirsad, spent time in the Serbian concentration camp where his father died.
Mislim, to je teško sve ispričati. Šta smo sve preživjeli. Samo nam je bilo teško stvarno. Što smo prošli, kud smo prošli. Mnoge su žene, mnoga djeca, mnogi ljudi. Mnogo je stradalo, izginulo. Mislimo, on je stvarno onaj užas i ono ne možemo nikad zaboraviti, nećemo nikad zaboraviti. Ni moje dijete, ni ja, ni niko.
After living in several refugee centres, the family have been offered a property in Watford and places at Francis Coombe. The school already has some Bosnian refugees who can be drafted in to help with the language.
And how long have you been learning English?
Hello. I'm Marlene Broadhead. I'm head of special needs. Yes, do you understand? No.
No.
Sorry.
Ona je ovdje glavna za ovaj krug za specijalno učenje engleskog.
I'm a very kind lady, yes. Yes, go on, say it.
Ljubljiva žena, tako da.
Yeah. And we'll help as much as we can.
I pokušat će da vam pomogne koliko mogu.
Yes, okay.
It's the Bosnian children. I think the 2 new children that have come into school. I've contacted County Hall, got their forms filled in. This should be done more or less by return of post. We need photographs, the passport photographs. Once we get that done today, then they will get their free transport, which is one worry. The other problem was the school uniform, so I think we will take the vouchers and buy the new uniform, but
And
I will also
supplement it with
with what I've got.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. I am concerned that the boy, apparently, according to social services, is very disturbed because of what he saw in the concentration camps.
Yes, I mean...
Very disturbed. So we need somehow to call on expertise of other people for counselling, bereavement counselling, support the family.
2 weeks later, Douglas Davis has completed his probationary period, but he's already angling to return to the assessment centre where he was sent between schools.
But I'm trying to get back. I've already asked these about going back and they can see what they can do. It's real good. Wednesday and Friday, you go to this school, the other school the other day of the week. You finish at 2:30 on a Friday, 3 o'clock on Wednesday. You don't have to do no work. You do what you want.
Douglas has had a contract with the school, agreeing to good behaviour and regular attendance. Now the day of reckoning has arrived.
Right. The 2-week review is up.
Yes.
He wasn't here yesterday, was he?
He was.
Yesterday?
He should have been here yesterday.
He should have been here yesterday.
He wasn't.
The school, nobody phoned up and said he wasn't.
No, I mean, it's not. We only phoned up after 3 days, basically.
Oh, right.
Because, I mean, he could have been ill.
Ah, yeah.
And he's also given a letter to Mr. Levis.
I'll let you deal with him when you get home.
I'll see the note. I'll see.
Yeah, but he can do your signature.
We're 2 weeks on. I personally feel that he's actually made quite a bit of progress. He's had his moments where he's quite outspoken, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he likes to shock. So what I'm actually suggesting is I think if we extend his trial and we then meet again. Yeah. Now I know it means you keep coming in, but I think it's essential that we've got to get embedded in. Yeah.
Your dad said that you tell your brothers to go to school.
Yeah, I do. I tell them not to be like me. I tell them not to smite, do nothing with drugs, or otherwise I'll chop their hands off. Nothing. Go to school, say got good education, get a good job.
Why can't you take your own advice?
I don't know. I just want them to turn out all right, not like me.
Why do you think you're turning out the way you are?
Because I'm a bad boy.
I've given the photographs to Shirley.
Yeah.
So she'll do that, and they've also got one each to take home to their mum.
Okay.
Now, the other thing, Marlene, is that Messard was told yesterday that they couldn't eat at lunch, they couldn't eat at school because they hadn't got school uniform.
Oh, rubbish.
And they would like to stay here all day, and they would like to eat.
Oh, of course you can. We'll sort that one out. Rubbish.
Mm.
If necessary, we'll bring a meal up here. I'm not having them ostracised for that.
I think she don't want to eat.
Oh, you don't want to eat here?
No, she's not hungry.
Oh, yes, she will be. Oh, yes, she will be. She will be. You're Muslim, yes? Yeah. Chicken? chicken with pasta or potatoes or baked potatoes. That's vegetarian, no meat, right? And a sweet, or there's salad, or at the top there you can have chips. Chips, yeah? Chips? Come on then, let's get you some chips.
The refugees' problems are now largely left to the school to solve. Francis Coombe is responsible for their food and their clothing, as well as their education.
This is better. Look, these are better.
Now, with funds provided by the local authority, Mirsada and Mirsad can at last buy uniforms for themselves and for their younger brother, who'll soon be of secondary school age.
That's better. No, that's good.
Within a few weeks, the Francis Coombe regime seems to be settling all the new children down.
Martina. Douglas.
It's been alright, I made friends and that with everyone there. So I ain't alone now. I'm up there?
Yeah.
It's like my last year, isn't it? All my exams and that. And I never want to go back to school again, so if I don't do them now and then I not buying and selling cars don't work, I've got some GCSEs or something, haven't I? Mr. Ford and Mr. Lovers and Mr. Harrison, they've been good to me. Like, I've got in trouble when they tried to get me out.
And that one's the throttle.
Well, when Dougie came, I mean, it's almost as if he had a death wish. He certainly didn't like teachers, he certainly didn't like schools, and therefore you had to get rid of those barriers before you went anywhere. When you got rid of those barriers, underneath was quite a nice lad who really actually wanted success. And then we'll see, you know, if things go wrong, we can always bring Dougie before that. But I mean, at the moment, his real test is if he hasn't got that contract for his head.
Right. Right. Well, I've heard absolutely nothing. Nothing's come to me about it. OK, I think we're ready. Would you like to come in? Oh, that's different. You bring your own music in with you?
Oh, don't leave that in the car. 250 quid's worth that.
All right. Do come in. Thanks, Steve.
You get that stolen, I wouldn't be very happy.
We're looking now at how Douglas has got on with his contract. How do you think you've got on, Douglas?
All right.
All right. Any more?
No.
Have you kept your contract?
Yeah.
Has he kept to his contract, Mr. Harrison?
I've had notes from various teachers saying Douglas has worked very hard this lesson. The bit that he found most difficult was coming to lunch. And given that he doesn't eat lunch, he just comes to lunch and he gets registered, so at least he's turned up and he's fulfilled his contract in that respect.
And you felt that you're now quite happy?
Yeah.
Yes. And Dan, what about you?
Oh, yeah, I'm well pleased to have him like at this school. Just tell me the other day he got 92 in maths and 96 in maths.
94, 92.
94 and 92.
Well, I think you've actually fulfilled what we wanted you to do, Douglas. OK, and that's to settle in well. Do you think if we take you off contract now, you're going to actually be able to keep on the way you've been doing?
Yeah.
Do you want to have a go and we'll see how you get on? Right. But I've heard only good things. I've not heard anything untoward at all, and I get to hear all the naughty things, so I think you deserve a good pat on the back. You've done well. And you even get to go home 16 minutes early. How about that? That's a treat for you. OK.
Yeah, lovely.
Thanks for coming in. It's interesting you had to bring your radio in with you.
Yeah, so it don't get nicked.
That's different. Different.
Right, I'll see you September or October
You
then.
will indeed.
Hopefully not before.
Well done.
See you on Monday.
Yeah.
Right, no.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay,
Cheerio.
bye.
Bye.
See how it goes. See how it goes. It's got one of two ways. What do you reckon?
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But now, Hertfordshire Council decides to move the Bosnian family to another home and to another school.
I am concerned that if they refuse the South Oxley property, you will say our rules and regulations are such that they're homeless and they cannot have a property anywhere.
The school has been asked by a friend of the family to help Mirsad and Mirsada to stay where they are.
But can I say that we in school have not been contacted by anyone? But that's quite outrageous from our point of view, because the children spend more time in school than they do at home. And in fact, school can be the one place of safety that is continuous. Yeah. OK, then. All right, then, nice to talk to you. OK, bye-bye. It seems ludicrous to place her out in South Oxley, which is miles away.
I know, when I told her this morning, she was crying and she said I'll ask them to send me back to Croatia.
We're really going to have to make very strong representations that, yet again, these children cannot be moved. It's enough. They've been moved enough.
19 times.
19 times.
centres.
These children are just happy now, aren't they?
They are really.
They're really happy
If
here.
you knew them just a couple of months before, you'd have seen really big difference now.
Yeah.
The threatened move does go ahead. But the school has been able to ensure that the children will be able to continue their education at Francis Coombe. Their new home is at least half an hour further away from the school, but they will get free transport, and they have been told that they won't have to move again.
Na jedan trenutak ja mogu biti sretna i onako vesela i našaliti se popričati kao što se mi iskupimo tu. Ima nas par ti naših porodica i tako ti koji smo bili tamo isto u Bosni. Jednim smo se poznavali, jednim nismo, ali smo se tako eto zbližili i to. I ono, nasmiješ se i sve i popričaš i ošali, ali rana je ostala na srcu, to se ne može izliječiti. Eto jedna, jednostavno su zapali gume, izveli ga, stavili ga na gume, izgorio je. Bio je teško tučen, mislim da je više nije mogao ni ustati, nego su ga digli, izveli dvojica i tako su ga stavili, izgorio je. Mada mi bilo lakše da je od metka poginuo, bar ipak opet nekako čovjeka ovako. To je teško, to ne može čovjek nikad im zaboraviti. Da je morao baš tako da se pati, da ga na taj način se na njem iživljavaju, kad nije bio taj čovjek ništa kriv.
Pokušavam, ali već zaboravljam pomalo oblik face.
Ili imate kakvu fotografiju?
Imam jednu fotografiju.
Samo jednu. Amir sada.
If you know the story of what's gone on with these Bosnians, you've also got to be ever so careful, because you've still got a school to run. And you may have 10 Bosnians here, but you've still got 570 other pupils in the school. Yeah. And the Bosnians' behaviour, which is usually exemplary, they're quite happy to be here and to work. But if the Bosnians' behaviour was bad, you've got to still treat them in a similar way to you would any other pupil. And I think that's quite important.
But suddenly the Bosnians' behaviour is not exemplary. The boy Mirsad is giving cause for concern. The school has arranged for somebody from the Bosnian community to talk to him, but Mirsad has apparently chosen this day not to come to school at all.
Titsia and Katrina to come in and talk to Mirsad. He's not in. Mirsad is not in. Where is he?
I don't know.
Did he come to school with you this morning?
No.
Do you know where he is? Is he in trouble with Mum? So why would he have taken today off then?
I don't know.
And you don't know where he is? No idea where he is?
The Bosnian helper agrees to try and find out what's happened.
Da, reci mi stvarno šta je.
Ja sam jutros kad sam unesla da njega probudim da idemo u školu, samo su krenuli, rekao ja neću ići u školu.
Dobro, neću ići u školu.
I ja kažem, mamo, neću da ide u školu. Mama kaže, nemoj se svađati sa njim, jer on uvijek se samo svađa. On se druže s nekim prijateljima.
Znaš li ti te prijatelji? Znaš ih ti? A ko su ti?
On su gore s nama do naše zgrade. On svi i piju, puše i sve, ne idu u školu. I onda on sa njima i onda sam njemu rekao kako on može praviti probleme u školu, da ne ide, da tuče djeci, tako da on sam ne bi išao u školu. I onda on sad, eto vidiš, počeo da ne dolazi u školu. U petak je jednog malog udario tu šakom, odmah mi sve krv išla. Onda se ja neće tako hoće da i on da kao izbacili iz škole, da on sam ne dolazi sad u školu.
Ma slušaj, mislim, njega neće izbaciti iz škole, znaš, nije to tek tako da ga izbaci iz škole.
I am never shocked at whatever happens because there's a saying which is quite odd really, kids will always let you down, and they do. It doesn't matter how clever they are or how, you know, honest they are, they will always let you down.
Turning up at school and behaving himself has also proved too much for Douglas Davis. He has got into a serious fight with another boy and has been excluded, temporarily expelled from Francis Coombe.
Oh, man. I've been chucked out because I had a fight. I beat up a boy after school.
And then he went back to school and Mrs Moore said, well, what do you think? Well, I'm not bothered. He says, I don't want to come to your school no more. So she said, well, we don't want you. So now they're trying to get him into college for his last sort of 6 months. And so I told him, like, he's going to school or college somewhere, because no way am I getting taken to court and fined like £1,000.
What do you think's going to happen?
Don't know. Don't care.
Well, that's not the right sort of attitude to have, Douglas, is it?
No.
What are you saying to him?
I'm telling him not to liven himself up, not be so stupid. I've got all the aggravation. 2 or 3 times a week I'll get the police knocking on the door with the neighbours complaining. And he said to him last night, the next time they come up here, they could take him away. But he doesn't seem bothered, Douglas. He thinks it's a big joke, don't you, Douglas? And it's not.
It's not funny.
It's not a joke at all.
Are you thinking about what you're doing is doing or what?
I'm just not bothered. It just happens, doesn't it? People cause hassle and I have to join in. Because I feel left out if I don't.
Have you been in touch with his mum?
Oh, she doesn't want him back, so I said to her, I'll send him back to you. She said, you won't, I don't want him back.
But do you feel as a dad there's anything more you can do? Or are you just going to let it happen?
Well, I'm just letting and anything is give him a bloody good hiding. But it wouldn't solve nothing, would it, really? It's not funny, Douglas. You think everything is a big joke, and it's not.
Someone at the door. If it's me, I'll be out later.
The school has sent the Bosnian helper to the Aslanovic family home to find out what's happened to Mirsad.
Dobar dan. Dobar dan. Mirsad nije kod kuće, jel?
Nije tu, ja ne znam gdje je izašao.
Nije.
Nisam ti zatkra, ja sam bila na koleđu došla.
Da vam se predstavim, ja sam Ticijan Kačina, ja sam zamoljen ispred škole da malo... Tu sam ja njemu isto...
Ali ne može on će sad počeo, nitko od kuće noćiva, malo kada noći. Niti znam kud ide, nikad dođe, nikad unide, nikad izide, on ima svoj, naravno, ključ, imaju svi, da ono, nikad niko ne čeka da uđe u kuću. Živjeti ja veze nema. Dosad mi se tjevo javiti, upitao, ili izašao ili otišao, sad viš ništa. Nikakve kontrole na njega, nikakve.
Gazava. Gdje ti ima? Šema? A gdje ti ima? Ha? Čuti, ajde, čuti. A, vidi njega, ma.
Nema nikoga o njom.
Nego?
Gledaš na stanciju mene da dirkira.
Što?
Pa, otkud ja znam što sam Bosanac.
Šta ti je rekao?
Pa, došao me, znaš, vića meni. Pošao me za dirkirat, gura me. Ja njegov tim, rekao što ti kaže on, hajde, kaže, hajde vi, možeš se potući. Rekao, hoću.
Je li on bio sam ili s nekim još?
Bilo je još 3-4 Pakistanca, ne. Ja, njegov tim i nije me nijednom on udario, njegov tim izudaram ga fino. Razbijem mu nos, usnu
Izudaram ga fino,
i pustim ga u bus neki dan. I ovaj mali me rekao, ja prekuće ili jučer sam bio kod ovog jednog malog prijatelja, on je Pakistanca isto. I on mi kaže da će me ovaj mali istučak mufti. Kaže, slomit će me.
Ko je mali?
I ako mufti, on će mene slomiti i ja ne smijem.
Ama neće, sad ti govorim ja. Budi siguran da neće. Eto, budi siguran da neće. Eto, ja srijeda neće, neće te niko, ovako te pipnut neće niko. Eto, jel mi vjeruješ? Jel vjeruješ meni?
Tetian eventually succeeds in persuading Mirsad to return to school.
I think it's like being a nurse. You actually get involved to a certain point, but then it's part of the job. And even though, you know, you warm to certain pupils more than others, I mean, I'm not saying that in terms of favouritism, but you do, because you warm to human beings more than others. But me personally, you know, there is a point where you've got to draw and you say, well, OK, it didn't work. That's it.
Douglas has not returned to school, but Francis Coombe is still obliged to provide his education, so his teachers have arranged for him to study car mechanics at a nearby college, and the school must pay the bill of £600 per term. Within 6 months, Mirsad was also gone and was looking for a place in a local college.
Working in business, perhaps you should get police protection.
Looks like you might need it more than